Oh, that I had won some like small event, um, like a year ago or something, like a long time ago, and I was like really excited about like Gladius Ultramarines. So I had got these Inceptors, a set of three of them for free for winning that event, which was super cool. And then I eventually was every time I was playing Inceptors, I was always running six of them. So I finally broke down and got the other three. But like for the last year, I've like had these Inceptors and I've played them in tons of games. I even got these like custom. My friend Dean custom printed these what are they called? I guess an STL, but like these cool like 3D printed jet smoke trail things, which I really like, and I'm excited to be finished painting them so I can actually super glue them onto the base because they in every game the Inceptors just like fall off. So yeah, it's been cool. I've been excited to like actually finish painting these, and I think after this stream, I think I will be mostly done with at least three of these, which will be dope. Because I painted for probably like after the stream last time, I maybe painted for like another 2.5 hours, kind of like randomly, and got like a lot of this bronze on. And I did the transfers, and then I started doing the sergeant. Because you can see the red helmet on the sergeant, which I'm really happy with. It's dope. I'm really happy with how these guys are turning out. I think they look pretty cool. So I'm gonna get like the black on here, and then I think what I'll do is I'll dry brush on this like ribbed piping area. I'm gonna dry brush like a silver, and then I think on this non-ribbed piping area, I'm actually gonna not. I think I'm just gonna leave it like pretty black. I might do like one little like navy blue or dark gray line as like a highlight, but we're gonna pretty much just leave this piping black, but we'll bring this ribbed tube to read more metallic and less like plasticky rubber. But we want this other one to kind of read more rubbery. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just gotta be really careful when I'm painting this. My paint job looks good. Ah, thanks, man. I am an amateur at this for sure. But I don't know. I tend to just be like slightly halfway okay at most things that I do. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. This is like about as good as I can do. And just like through like practice and an accident, like this just looks kind of okay. But I'm happy with how it's turning out. It's just taking a long time. Just going really slow because I just don't. I was saying this last stream, trying to correct when you mess up the white and trying to go back and correct it is just so annoying. I had to do it on like all my assault intercessors. Because that was like the second Marine kit I ever painted. And the first kit, to get really into the weeds, the first kit I painted was Infiltrators. And those have Phobos armor. So the stomach, like chest area, or I guess it's mostly stomach. The stomach area on Phobos armor is black. So then when I went to my Assault Intercessors, I just used my Infiltrators kind of as my template. And I was like, oh, I'll just do what I did on these guys. So then I painted, I can even show you. Like, you see how on this Gravis Marine, like the stomach is white, like this area? I had painted that on my Assault Intercessors black, and I was like, oh no, that needs to be white. So then I had to like I also have like a purple undercoat on all of this. Like, so when you look at it from below, it looks purple. When you look at it from the top, it looks white. So I had to like redo the purple and I had to redo the white, which is just so hard because I build up all of these base colors via airbrush. So I couldn't repair it via airbrush just because I had already painted like the whole model. And I was like, no! So long story short, it is a pain in the butt to try to fix this white armor when you mess it up. So I just go so slow. So slow. Every artist is their own worst critic. That's true. I'm my own worst critic just in all things in life, though. But that's a little bit my life philosophy, is that if you're never really... There's definitely a balance, but if you're never really satisfied with what you're doing or where you're at, and you always think you can be improving, then that's like kind of a good mindset to have. It just gets a little dangerous when you're like... You're never like... recognizing the work that you're putting in or like the progress you've made. It can be like a slippery slope of just like feeling like crap and not being like, oh, I am good enough, I did do something, I am accomplished, I am smart. When you're like, oh, I could be smarter, oh, I could be better at painting, I need to work harder, I could be faster, I could be stronger, But I don't know, it's a good mentality for always improving. We're in frame? Yeah, we're in frame. I need to like have some type of like preview screen on like the other side of my desk so I don't have to like break my neck to look at this thing. Oh, before I started the stream, this is like Warhammer related. I was writing a list for... I also play World Eaters, and I own a bunch of Khorne Demons because of that. I wrote a list that was Angron, a Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, like 40 or 30 Bloodletters, Chaos Spawn, 2 Jackals, and a Khorne Lord of Skulls. So it's just like... It's crazy. It's just so like a big, thick monster mash. I'm curious if you can legally field 2 Bloodthirsters, Angron, and Scarbrand in a list. It's gotta be... It's 3... Yeah, you must be able to. Because that's 900 points. You just couldn't bring... Oh, you could bring 1 thing of Bloodletters if you did that. That's actually wild. That's super interesting. I wonder if you did that and then just brought like a bunch of Jackals. If that would like actually function on the table, or if it would just be too tall and dumb. Curious if you could pull something off like that after like this night meta is kind of dying. But allegedly it's not dying, because I think the codex... I need to actually read all those rules so that I can like be informed when I talk about it on stream. But I feel like the night codex is supposed to be kind of scary, allegedly. TBD. I typically just like don't read rules of armies I don't own until like, you know, one of my friends is like so excited about it, or if I'm about to like go, if I pair into it in League at my LGS, I'll like start to do my homework. But that kind of burned me in my most recent match. I just like hadn't really read anything about Space Wolves, and hadn't played them at all. So then I went into them in my League match, and I just kind of like was like, oh, whatever, like who cares, it's Space Marines. But they had some tricks that I kind of was just like not prepared for. Not that my opponent gotcha'd me or anything, but I just like, you know, if you don't have experience solving those puzzles, you just, you know, you don't have any muscle memory to lean back on. And because of that, I couldn't secure the dub. But that's okay. The busier I get, the less I start to care about actually winning my games. I just want to, you know, I think I was saying this the other day, I want to just try my best. I don't need to be the best. I just want to be the best version of myself. So, we'll see. And sometimes that coincides with winning lots of games, but other times it doesn't. And that's cool. That is cool. Yo, PokeFan, how are you? Have not seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Welcome back. Painted an Ironclad Dreadnought Salamander colors, but recently ordered some isopropyl. I'm gonna strip it so I can color Custom Space Marine. I'm a big fan of Custom Space Marines Because then when people are walking by your table, like, it's just like, oh, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just doing my own thing. This is my thing because I like it. I think there's something cool about that. But also, I totally get wanting to, like, if you're like a lore guy and you read the books and stuff, I totally get wanting to be like, all right, these are salamanders because I read this thing about Vulcan Heston and da-da-da-da-da, and I think they're the coolest chapter, and I want to paint those guys. And the college game is amazing. Like, totally get it. Respect it. Love it. But I would rather make up a cool story, like D&D style, about how my guys got lost in the warp and then came out of the warp and didn't realize that Angron had, like, fallen to chaos. And they're still fighting on behalf of the Emperor, and they believe some, like, fake news about how Angron didn't actually fall, and that's just propaganda from Chaos and blah blah blah. It's just like it's funnier to make up like a totally just made up headcanon. I'm having a hard time getting my brush in there. Probably should move these guys out of, like, because sometimes your brush can, like, stick on this and just, like, flick paint. Should probably move these guys, like, out of the blast zone. Let's see, can we move just all this? Bye-bye. And then maybe this is far enough out of the blast zone. Oh yeah, we're looking good, guys. This is looking clean. Looking rad. I am pleased with this. D&D Warhammer. I'm always like, I feel like I lean more towards, I don't know how much you know about D&D, but I played like 4th edition quite a bit. And 4th edition was like really all about like the minutia of like combat and like being able to like flank people and get bonuses for like where you were exactly standing. And it's just funny that now I'm into Warhammer. Like, that was the thing that really attracted me to D&D. It wasn't so much the like, oh, like, let's do a collaborative storytelling session and like have this really cool narrative where we like create characters and these timeless stories that are amazing, and that's what we do. D&D, yay. I was just kind of like, whoa, how do we like set up like this tactical battle where we like fight this guy and then we do this really cool thing to like win the fight. And little did I know there was already a game called Warhammer where you could just do that. Which is sort of why this game, I'm obsessed with it. I was also a big fan of back in the day. I didn't have a PlayStation, but I had a Game Boy Advance. I was a big fan of like Final Fantasy Tactics, and later Fire Emblem. I'm a big fan of. Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS is one of the greatest games ever made. Step to me if you don't agree. That game is fantastic. Some would even say that it's feel fantastic. Oh yeah, this is nice. It's like not adhering. I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's like because there's like so much spirit in my white mix. I wonder if it like repels the paint almost. I'm curious. Be curious to know like the science behind that. Not like the actual, but just kind of like I'd like to know the why so I could potentially prevent that from happening in the future. Potential. I can't remember if my mic was muted for when I was talking about my Angron list or not, but I'm going to talk about it again real fast. I wrote, before the stream started, I wrote a list for my World Eaters that is Angron, 2 Bloodthirsters, Scarbrand, some Jackals. What is it? No, it's 2 Bloodthirsters, Scarbrand, Angron, like 10. What are they called? Bloodletters. Just 1 unit of 10 Bloodletters. And then I think, what is it? 2 Jackals, Chaos Spawn, and the Khorne Lord of Skulls. That seems crazy. I would like to see that on the tabletop. I don't know if it really plays the game as much as it just runs out, immediately tries to table your opponent, and then becomes really, like, once you kill all their anti-tank, just becomes really hard for them to deal with. Seems interesting. Oh, another thing I wanted to try to figure out that I forgot to look up. I can't remember if the Sanguinary is allowed to do his drop turn 1 because he starts off the table. I can't remember if there's a core rule that like just prevents that. It's kind of a non sequitur from my demon conversation, but it's just something that popped into my brain. Super curious how that is ruled. I'm super curious. All right, we're getting almost done with this piping. Oh, another thing I was thinking today is I've seen like on YouTube that they do, people in like the shorts feed will like do vertical, maybe I just sound like a boomer right now, but like they do vertical streaming. And I was like wondering if that's like worth doing. But I don't know. I feel like those two things like are opposed. Like, if somebody is going to sit down and watch like a painting stream, are they really going to be just like in their shorts feed, just like vertically watching that? But I don't know. Maybe I just don't know anything about modern YouTube consumption. Oh man, this water is just too dark. I can't get this off. I got like a little bit of black on his hand, and I'm trying to just like dilute it like crazy and then wipe it off, and it's just kind of like, it's like close enough, good enough. All right, that's good enough for a first coat on that. Do I normally prefer painting subassembly? No, I don't. The only reason I'm doing this is because they're magnetized. My guys are already built. I just have the bolters and the plasma guns magnetized so I could swap them. But I don't know. I think maybe if I was like a better painter, maybe. Like, I get the appeal of doing subassembly because there's just, especially in the more modern models, there's just so much like this happening where you're just like, okay, well, like, how do I get into to paint his chest if his arms are like this? Like, where does my paintbrush go? So I don't know. But we're happy, like all of my dudes. I do a lot of like arm magnetizing. Like, here's one of my JPI that I sometimes use as a captain. I just magnetize his arms just because I'm a little bit of a stickler for WYSIWYG. So I want to have my options, and I want to be on the table, like looking at it, and I'm just like, okay, that guy definitely has a power fist. Like, sweet, we're good. There's no confusion. He does not have a power weapon or whatever. I think they're called power or a relic weapon or something. He does not have a relic weapon. He has a power weapon. But yeah, I'm doing subassembly on my Bloodthirster. because that giant arm, and I did it with Angron too. I actually did a ton of sub-assembly on Angron. Yeah, assembly on the Greater Demons. Exactly. There we go. And the Primarchs, or getting their own wings suck. Yeah, that's literally what I'm saying. That's the point I was getting to. That's so cool that you said that. Yes, I sub-assembled Angron because I was doing a lot of airbrushing, and I thought it was like, I just thought it was easier to do that, and then put his arms on Angron. I don't know if you've seen that model. They slot right in, and then the wings slot right in. So it was just actually like super easy to sub-assemble. And then I'm doing it. And then I thought that worked so well. So then now that I have Scarbrand and a Bloodthirster, I did the exact same thing. Too late for you on Angron? Is he already all glued up? Did you paint him yet? I thought Angron is maybe my best painted model. If I need to stretch my legs at some point, he's on the shelf behind me. I could go grab him. But I don't want to get too distracted, being like, oh, I got excited because we're talking about Angron. I'm gonna get that. Oh, I'm gonna go get that. Sometimes I gotta whip my ADHD into check. But at some point, if I want to stretch my legs, I'll get up and I'll go get them. Prime did Morty and didn't learn your lesson. Oh, you're working on Bloodthirst right now. Nice. I just played a game against... What is it? Is it called Shadow Legion? What is the one where you can be like 50-50 Chaos Space Marines and demons? I just played like half a TTS game with my friend with that detachment. It's really good. It's like, basically, if you could figure out a way to stop the Bloodthirster from going up and down, I feel like that their whole game plan stops. Because the rest of the army is just like kind of not that good. Oh, the one thing that was good was that Bloodletters. He has like a really crazy hammer of Bloodletters that it like one-tapped my what are these called? Inceptors, and I just couldn't believe the damage output. I think they were like flat 4. Maybe the Renmaster makes that happen. I'm not like an expert on demons. I just sort of a little bit know what they do. But that was wild. Wild. Getting hit with that crit. It was like +1 to wound, I think, off the character or something. It was nasty. In frame here. I need to put like a little X to where like the center of the frame is. Let's do that actually. Is this, where's center? That is center-ish? Center-ish? It's like there. Oh, there's an X already. This is funny. I've done this before. Zoink. Zoink. Okay, so we'll just try to keep my hand like around that. KDK! Most of the time, after Bloodthirster's Blast. Nice, bro. I can talk to you about World Eaters for days. World Eaters is maybe my main army. TBD. I was running KDK to great success before they fixed that broken rule about dropping blood letters wherever the hell you wanted. I was like... I had one loss, and it was a close loss into a really, really strong player. And the rest of the time, I was just, like, dominating with them. But I just also think that, like, that doesn't really say... I mean, I'm a fine player, but, like, that bloodletter rule was busted. To be able to just send Chaos Spawn into somebody's... onto their, like, home... and be like, well, if you kill them, I'm going to drop 10 bloodletters back here, and I'm gonna steal your home. I'm going to score it in my turn. Like, that was crazy. And I think there's ways to still do it. And also, somebody, I think, just went 8-1 with KDK at a GT, which is really cool. I think I started to listen to, like, an interview. But I think my ADHD probably got the best of me, and I stopped listening to it. Where is 3 units of bloodletters? Flexibility with them is still good. I agree. Yeah, I was doing. Oh, they did that 8-1. I was running 40, and I still think that you could do that and not be a bozo. I think that because they cost 90, and are they? I think they're only 1 OC. I think because they cost 90, that is like an interesting points value for World Eaters, like slotting that in for list building and for like cheap trades and stuff, and also to be able to get Lance on them for just 3 Blood Tithe. I want them to change that mechanic, but that's a whole nother topic. I think that I'm just pulling up the chat so I don't have to keep breaking my neck. There we go. This is good. Don't fall. No, it's gonna fall. This will fall or this will not fall. It's standing for now. Blah 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 bloodletter something something. They cost 90. You can get Lance for 3 Blood Tithe, and then if you can cast them around. I was running the Slaughterbound with the Icon of Corn, and you just kind of tuck him in a ruin and just don't really even use him until late game. You just kind of like project that aura into the midboard. I thought that was kind of neat, and it just makes that 90-point unit like just hit up. And they're fast now. I think they used to be 6 in Index land, but now in Codex world they move 8, which is nice. We love speed here at Zero Chill. Speed is like my favorite thing in Warhammer, which is why I play Blood Angels. It's why I play World Eaters. It's why I play Tau. I just gotta go fast. I did used to play Custodes a lot, and I would run Venatari and the Virtus Praetors. But there's just something about the 10th edition design of Custodes that I just find super boring. I do like Lions. I think they're making like headway into making Custodes more interesting. So I've played Lions to some amount of success. I'm a little bit bored of just saying, oh, here are some Terminators. Can you kill them? Oh, you can't? I win the game. I mean, obviously, it's much more complicated than that, but I feel like sometimes, at least Index Custodes, it used to boil down to, like, can you kill 30 Wardens? And I just kind of found that boring. The detachment for EC, I got a paint pot's in the way of the chat. Yeah. I feel like their rule is just a lot easier to pull off, and Blood Tithe is just kind of like harder. I feel like it should be 100% of it should either be like 4-up for anything dies, or it should just be 100% of the time for when enemies die. I don't understand the point of like, okay, well, I already did the hard thing of killing a whole unit. It's like not even like a model. It's like I killed a whole entire unit, and then I roll a 2, and then I just don't get my detachment roll. That just seems like not. I wonder if there were test games where it was 100% of the time and it was just like super oppressive, but I can't imagine, especially now that the Summon by Slaughter stratagem is reeled in, I can't imagine that is still true. Yeah, Corn Care's not. Dude, yeah, you're totally right. That's what I'm saying. Anything dies, and then on a 4-up, you get blessed by Corn. That's how it was in, I don't know if you played in 9th edition, but when they had Blood Tithe as like their army rule in 9th edition, if anything died, you would get Blood Tithe, which is why back then you would run a bunch of spawn and you would just shove them out. And you'd be like, look, you can ignore this or you can kill it. Either way, I get Blood Tithe, and that is what I want. And I feel like, gosh, I can't remember I feel like you would save it. I can't quite remember exactly what the strategy was with 9th edition Blood Tithe and like why you would save it. but I feel like it was cool. Or maybe you used it to bring Angron back, if I recall. Can't 100% recall. I think that's maybe what you did. And then you would like spend it like CP basically. I don't know, it's been a while. We're almost on 11th edition. 9th edition's old news now. I'm ready for... I actually feel like the game is like in an okay-ish space. You don't use a sub-assembly hold. No, just because I don't really sub-assemble that much. And what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just painting these, dude. And their arms are magnetized. Zoink. So I'm like not really sub-assembling this. It's easier to get it on this piping to just take this off. And I don't risk getting my black paint on my cool little dudes. But I bet I have something just at my desk that could do it just because there's a magnet on here already. Like if I took this. Yeah, look at, we just invented one. Look at that. Now we're doing it. This is actually way better. That was a good idea, thanks. Brush, just like, get wet, brush, come on. Do I paint any Grey Knights? Not yet. I've thought about it a couple of times. I kind of feel like I'm in the same camp as everybody else in the world, where I'm just kind of like, aren't they going to get refreshed at some point? Like, when are we getting our new Grey Knights, guys? I feel like we've been talking about for a long time about how we need to be refreshing Grey Knights, and I have yet to see a Primera scale Grey Knight invented. They just did the, what was that thing? The baby carrier, the Grandmaster or whatever it's called. That's cool. I feel like their codex just dropped because my brother plays Grey Knights and we played a few games with them. Rules-wise, I think that their power level is not equal to other things in the game. And I think that that was maybe what's holding them back. Maybe they're a little bit overcosted, and I just think that there's like a weird mix of like Grey Knights aren't quite durable enough because I feel like a lot of their stuff has 2-up saves, but they don't all have invols. And also I've been playing my Blood Angels, and just everything in my Blood Angels army is AP3, which is just kind of like pretty murderous into things that don't have invols. AP3 into no invul is just like you're dead now. You're saving on 5s or 6s at best. I mean 5s at best, really. Nobody has a 1-up save. I mean, I guess you could get cover. What is it? There's something that ignores cover in Space Marines. Maybe somebody knows. The, is it like one of the speeders or something? If you shoot something, it ignores cover? Something. I know one of the speeders does +1 to wound into monsters and vehicles. I feel like one of the speeders ignores cover. And then in cursors, which I'm running in this list, do +1 to hit. The more I think about that I'm running in cursors, the less I like it. I wish I just had some outriders or something. Something cheap that could like actually hold a point or be fast and disrupt. I didn't have enough points for JPI, which would have been interesting. But I also just kind of think, and maybe I'm wrong, I just think that JPI costs 90 because in Liberator Assault Group they're amazing. But in other things, they're just kind of like, okay. I guess they do move 12 and have Impact Mortals, which like, I guess you need to pay points for. But I would almost rather take 80 of those 90 points and just get intercessors with sticky objectives and 40 shots. But I don't know. What do I know? The ATVs look like a McDonald's toy. Yeah, they're funny. I have 2 of them, I think. I came into like a bunch of extra Tau, and I traded a friend of mine the Kroot Lone Spear for 2 ATVs, which I thought was a good trade. Especially because the Kroot Lone Spear I gave him wasn't just like it was. I got it secondhand, and the guy who assembled it really butchered it. I kind of felt bad doing that trade too. I was like, look, dude, this is awful. You can say no to this trade. But he's like, nah, I want it. I'm curious I'd like to see it, if he like repaired it and painted it up. But those Lone Spears are great. I'm a huge Kroot fan. I am big into the Kroot. They are good. I also think that they're just kind of like sleeper a good army. A lot of people don't expect you to just have a bunch of 65-point units that are 20 OC that move 7. They're like, wait, what? You can just flip this point with the 65-point unit? I'm like, yes, I can. That's mine now. If you overwatch it, I have a whole nother one right here. I'll just move on to there instead. And then you spent a CP to get rid of a 65-point unit. GG. Hope you don't need it for combat interrupt. That's a good first coat. Okay. Got one more arm. Nah, dude, Tower in a weird spot. The game, it's power creep. The game got really strong around Tau, and Tau was one of the first codexes to come out. I really do not like where Tau is right now. I liked Index Tau a lot. I did like decently okay at LVO 2024 with Index Tau, with like the cyclic ion blasters and tetras and during that whole era. That was super fun and arguably OP. But I think the main issue with Tau is that you have to show your opponent 2 units in order to kill 1 unit. And in Warhammer, where the game a lot of times comes down to trading, is that math doesn't math. When you show your opponent 2 units, kill 1 unit, and then they get to kill 2 units, and then you show them 2 units to kill 1 unit, and then they kill. They like slightly changed the army rules so that now one of your spotters can spot and in Tau's defense and Games Workshop's defense, I have not gone back to play Tau since they changed that rule. So maybe it's better. But now I think you can have like Pathfinder spot for themselves. You can have like the stealth suits pick like one super durable thing, and then they give reroll ones to hit and wound to like your whole army, which is a lot better. But still, that really only matters into like super dummy thick targets. Like, I don't even know what's strong. Like a great unclean one. I don't think that really changes like their ability to trade so much. It would be cool if they had like, I think the Farsight Marksman does it. You could get like a lone op that has marker light. I think Farsight Marksman has that. If there were like better, cheaper ways to just kind of like, all right, fine, GW, I'll play this game. Like I'll do this teamwork thing, and I'll bring extra units to do my guiding and spotting. But if then you could like protect them better, I feel like that would be cooler. Yeah, I think Tau sort of, at least in Index, had an anti-tank problem. I think people need to get more comfortable running broadsides, though. I think broadsides are sick. I used to, in Cao Yan, run... I think it was I ran 1x2 broadside. I've tried a lot of different kinds of anti-tank. I think I was enjoying Sky Rays for a minute because, at least in Hunting Pack, they have the marker light keyword. So you could have like one Sky Ray spot for another Sky Ray. And then they also have targeting array, which allows you to re-roll like a hit or a wound roll. And on their seeker missiles, they have twin linked. So you could basically use that unit unguided and still do pretty okay. Oh, and also the Sky Ray has a rule that lets you re-roll the hit roll into targets with fly. So into things like, like a Bloodthirster or Angron, you're re-rolling your hit roll, you're re-rolling your wound roll, which is just super super efficient. Just the issue with most things that like aren't the hammerhead, like if you don't get that dev wound off the hammerhead, you're just like throwing those seeker missiles into an invuln, which sometimes can just, you get through all your hit roll, all your wound roll, and then you just hit someone's invuln, and you're like, oh cool, that was neat. I'm glad the 4-up gods were on your side. I would love to see an edition where do I play tournaments at all? I'm pretty knowledgeable. Yes, I do play tournaments sometimes. I'm signed up for LVO this year, and then also I am the dude that organizes all the leagues and tournaments at I think the biggest store in Los Angeles. It's called Geeky Teas and Games. It's in Burbank. So I organize all that stuff at that store. So there are definitely way better players and way more knowledgeable players than me, but I am interested in it, and I do really like managing the community over there. I mean, I just do the competitive side. There's like another guy that does a bunch of other really cool stuff. He's a super nice guy. Love that guy. But I just do like the comp side of stuff. So I do the RTTs, and I do the match play leagues. So I sort of like have to be informed on stuff. And then also I like to just play as well as I can. And to do that, I read a lot of stuff, and I mean, not like a ton of stuff. I read like enough stuff. But also I'm knowledgeable about Tau because I play Tau. It's one of my main armies. If you were to ask me to like explain a bunch of stuff about let me try to think of an army I don't know things about. Case in point, Space Wolves. I just lost to Space Wolves the other day because I don't know anything about them. So if you're want me to explain how all the Space Wolves things work or what's good with them, I'm just kind of I don't know. That one character seems cool. He has a Vect. That Dreadnought seems neat. Being able to deep strike a Terminator in the first turn seems kind of cool. I don't know if you should be bombing 9-inch charges, but to stage up a Terminator that moves 5, super close to someone's deployment zone or expansion to do a charge in the next turn is pretty cute. Yeah, or Emperor's Children. I barely know anything about them. I've played into them a handful of times, so that I don't know if it's a it must be an army rule. That army rule detachment rule is kind of cool. It's sort of like Blood Tithe, but not. But yeah, I couldn't explain it to you. But if I read it, I'd probably remember it. Emperor's Children, First Army has been good for experience for understanding. You're saying, yeah, Emperor's Children's crazy hard to win with? I think Emperor's Children is easy to win with if you alpha strike your opponent with 3 Demon Princes with wings. I feel like that was what people were doing with their builds. And then you have I feel like you have a bunch of Forge Fiends backing it up. Or no, was it Mauler Fiends? Might have been Mauler Fiends. That seemed painful. I'm not into that. But the Demon Prince models are sweet. I just got one for my for my world eaters. That demon, I had one, like the old derpy one, and I just kind of was like sick of using it, to be honest. I just really wanted the new one. And then for one build, I had made one that had 2 demon princes in it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll run this, and that'll justify me buying the new model. I don't think I ever ran it. I just built and like primed up the demon prince on foot. That thing's dope. Big fan. Grab a few brothers, mostly need some Forge Fiends. I have 2 Forge Fiends, and I also feel strongly that in the data slate, like next week, that those Forge Fiends are going to go up like 20 points. So start thinking about that now. I was running something very similar to... What is that guy's name from Red Path? Brian, like, Daughtry or something? I had, like, written a list that was super similar to what he had figured out, which is like 20 berserkers, footprints. I just feel like that's where the math takes you. I don't even know if there's other options. I think maybe my list had 8-bound. I don't know if his list has 8-bound. I had like 1 or 2 foot 8-bound, or not foot 8, but regular 8-bound, not exalted. What else? I feel like I was running 2x2 spawn, 1 jackal. I might have pivoted into 2 jackals because I just kept running into matchups where I was having just a hell of a time screening my backline. And I was just like, dude, this sucks. I have to like put a real unit back here, and I don't want to do that. So I think I had reconfigured it to throw a second jackal in to just like watch my backfield. Yeah, 8-bound really. I think... I don't know. My tinfoil hat is just that, like, every list was, like, Angron plus maximum 8-bound. So then GW was like, well, let's try to, like, make people bring other units, like the Forge Fiend and da-da-da-da-da. And in doing that, they just kind of, like, made it so that 8-bound were not amazing. I mean, I actually think they are amazing. You get +1 to hit into infantry and an aura for your whole army. And then they have 18 attacks that are 10-2-2. Like, that's really good. I just think if they were, like, 10 points cheaper, it just wouldn't be so painful when they die. Because what used to happen is that they could soak damage because of the Feel No Pain. And Exalted 8-bound could really soak it because they had the 5 of Feel No Pain. So you get hit with some damage 3 and you lose like a guy and a half. And now if you get hit with damage 3, you're just dead. It's over. Like that's like so true. Like you would literally get hit with something and be like, haha, I'm still here, and your opponent would be like, ah, 8-bound, and now they just don't perform like that anymore. All right. Okay, we've got a lot of guns done. Dude, this is looking pretty good. If I say so myself, we're making some progress. I mean, legit, these are already tabletop ready, but I'm hoping to, like, we could probably finish these 3 tonight. I'm pretty confident we can. Yeah, dude, this looks so good. Yeah, that Slaughterbound rule is stupid. And the fact that he can't deep strike unless he's leading Exalted 8-bound is incredibly stupid. Like, why? Like, he costs... I forget what he costs. Maybe you can remind me. I think he costs at least 100, right? Or does he cost 90? I feel like he costs a significant amount of points and then should just be... It would be so cool if you could just keep him in the sky and then deep strike him. But I usually put Favorite of Corn on him, which kind of actually disincentivizes you to put him in reserves, because Favorite of Corn doesn't work when it's in reserve. You got to be on the table to use it. Oh, yeah. I want to know what these little booties are called on these guys. I keep saying in my head that they're skates. I'm painting his little ice skates. They kind of look like skates. Oh yeah, this is some progress. This looks so tight. I can't wait to immediately lose these guys on the table when I deep strike 6 inches away from some Fire Knife Tau, and then they Overwatch and just kill them all. Except I think Fire Knife Tau are damage 2. At least the missile ones are. Oh, he's 85 without enhancement? Okay. Well, I guess I kind of take back my sass then. That's pretty cheap for what he does. That's 85. That's 15 more points than a combi lieutenant. I mean, I don't know. But he actually kills people, which is the big difference. Combi lieutenant doesn't kill anything in the game. But Slaughterbound, when he goes like Super Saiyan mode, messes stuff up. Is it 10 attacks on the charge in Super Saiyan mode? It's been a hot minute since I played Eaters. Not like the longest hot minute. How do I say oi da boy? Oi da boy? What up, oi da boy? Welcome to the stream, brother. Crack a soda pop. Bust out your paints. Yeah, my Slaughterbound typically was like a caddy. Slaughterbound with Blade of Bloodshed. Ooh, okay. I would put the blade on the Prince. But I could see actually putting it on the Slaughterbound because I think the Slaughterbound's faster. And what you want to do is push that unit up earlier. And the Prince typically is something you want to hold back for later. So I could see you doing that. That makes sense. But I've been putting the utility stuff on him, like is Icon, is that the one that does the aura of World Eater army rule onto demons? I feel like that's the case. If I recall. Oi boy, you're just getting into Warhammer? That's sick. What about Warhammer interests you? There's so many reasons to like this. There's like the hobby side, there's the gaming side, there's like the video game side if you're playing Space Marine 2. There is the lore side. You could be reading the books. You could be getting into Sigmar. You could be getting into Kill Team. There's just like so many different game systems. What said to Oida Boy? Play me. Oh, the PS5 game. Nice. Yeah, the lore breakdowns on YouTube are cool. They're a rabbit hole. It's kind of fun. You can just be like, oh, like this model, like for example, like Mephiston is a cool model that I'm probably gonna paint on stream soon. He's got some sick lore, and I just didn't know that. I'm sort of like I'm a little bit of like a gamer first, so I want to like play the game a lot, and then normally I'm like painting stuff as like a secondary part of the hobby. But I've been pretty busy and haven't really had time to just like pick up a ton of games. So it's nice at like night when the house is quiet and the kids asleep. I can just kind of like just pick away at this stuff. It's very relaxing. But the game is dope. I just reinstalled it. I beat it when it came out, and then I reinstalled it because there's like a bunch of new updates I think that just came out. Are you allowed to play? I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want. They're your toys. The rules about painting, I feel like, get really exaggerated. Like, I think some people, I would argue some antisocial people get really worked up about like what you should and shouldn't do with Warhammer. And it's sort of like my philosophy on it is that like we shouldn't gatekeep this game, and if someone is excited to learn and play, like assemble your minis and show up to the store. And like at our store we have like a Discord where you can like ask to be like, oh hey, like I'm looking for a game, like, or looking for a learner game, can somebody teach me? Like I have this many points of this army, like can someone help? And then our store is like really good about being like, oh yeah, no problem, man. Well, I have 1,000 points. Like we can do 1,000 points or something. Or oh, you only have 500 points, and we'll like set up a game of like Coliseum, which is I forget what YouTube channel invented that game. Might be, is it 40k in 40 minutes? I feel like 40k in 40 minutes made that up. But that's a really cool like 500 point learner format that the other ambassador at our store has done learning events with, and it was genius. It was such a good idea to do that. Because it's a small format. You mostly can learn all the rules of the game, and it's like not overwhelming. You can play a game in like an hour-ish, as opposed to like if you're like, oh, but I saw that these tournament players, like that's just like the last thing. Unless you're like a super like type A competitive person, I feel like all the competitive stuff you should just ignore entirely. And just buy models that look cool and paint them and get excited about playing with your toys. And just don't give a single F what anyone says. If anyone says the word meta around you when you just start playing, just walk away from them. No one cares about looking for gray. Get lots of complaints if you did paint them, since everyone knows how much effort it takes. Oh, compliments. Yeah, I read that as complaints at first. And I was like, what? Who in the world would complain that your army was painted? It's going cross-eyed over here. That's so funny. Yeah. People really don't care. I think when people care if your army's not painted is like for a tournament, because the rules change so fast. So something could get like released and broken. Like recently, if you're following the meta, which I do a little bit, Death Guard were like really broken for a minute, and a player at my local just bought all the broken like just super really strong models because they had good rules, and then just built them and primed them. Because in my events, I have like you have to at least prime your models. He built them and primed them, and then was playing in our event with just like super busted stuff. And it's just kind of like, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. Nobody is gonna. I'm not gonna not let you play in one of my events if you do that. But like, people are just kind of gonna look down their nose and be like, "Really? So you really love this army, huh? Bringing all these like super cracked, busted things." I try not to be too judgmental, because I also think sometimes a lot of the people who are like throwing shade on someone who does that are also min-maxing their lists like crazy. So it's like, well, just because you're min-maxing a list of an army that you've had for 3 years, like, doesn't necessarily make you like holier than thou. Like, you're still doing it too, dude. You're just hiding behind the fact that you've owned Eldar since 9th edition. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, let's not... I mean, that's not directed at anyone. I just picked up Eldar as an example because they're typically a super sweaty army. But, like, let's not hide behind, I owned this. Everybody out here trying to do their best. Space Marines are cool. I saw they're pretty cheap to build. Yeah, they're like more elite. They're cool. I would just pick whatever you think's cool. Because like from a play perspective, I do think sometimes Space Marines, especially like Ultramarines, are a little bit harder to play. They really reward understanding like how the game works to be good at them. But like so to Eldar, there's like a lot of armies that are just like a little bit harder to play and be good at. But if like there's a particular like subchapter or something that's calling to you, just go for that. Space Marines, I think, were my 4th army. I did Tau, and then I did Custodes, and then I did, what's the easiest army to play? Probably like Custodes, I would bet. Just because their data sheets are, and this is again coming from like a rules perspective that like in a year we're gonna have a whole new edition and maybe none of this will matter, so that's why you should always buy the toys that you think look the coolest. But Custodes are like really durable, and you can make a mistake with a Custodes unit and not necessarily lose it immediately, where with a different army you could put a unit in the wrong position and it just immediately dies. So I feel like just because in the nature of them being so durable, and they're also they without getting too into the weeds because you're so new, it's really easy for them to like hit stuff. They're very accurate, and some other armies are like slightly less accurate. So being able to like be really accurate and really durable is just good. But you get less moving pieces, which is kind of like the downside. Where like in my army I have like 14 moving pieces. In a Custodes army you'd have like 9 or 10 maybe. Which matters. Yeah, knights are weird. I don't know much about knights. Knights are cool? Question mark? They're a little bit like stat checky. I personally am just like not a fan. And also, they're just, like, so big and bulky, but I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. If Custodes calls to you, play them. Or, sorry, if Knights call to you, play them. Oh, that's true. That is a valid point, Ben. Melee is challenging to be good at. I think I sometimes don't even think about that because all of my armies that I'm good at are melee armies, like Custodes, Blood Angels, and World Eaters. I'm just kind of like, oh, I don't know, man. Just like be good at melee. What do you mean? Like that's just obviously like a bad take. Nice. Reverse randomness, new to your channel, but love listening in while I'm staying up late painting. Yo, let's go. Welcome. We're happy to have you. We're just hanging. We're just here to chat Warhammer. Maybe inspire people to slay the gray. Or slay their homework, whatever. We're just here for vibes. In general, Warhammer tactical advice. If people want it. It's funny. I'm at that point in the game where, like, I'm, like, pretty good at the game, but, like, I'm not showing up to a GT and taking that thing down. You know what I mean? There's a lot of luck that goes into that, to be honest. But if you're, like, a medium to bad player, I could tell you a thing or three to help you get better. Dude, this is turning out so good. I am really happy with how these guys are turning out. It's slow going for sure, but it's worth it. I do not regret this. All right, we've got I think the black. I might just pop some shade, and I don't know if this is on camera. I'll move it over here. There's like in here, in these little recesses, this is also supposed to be black, but I think what I'm gonna do is just drop like some shade in there, like Nuln or something. I'll just dip it in there. Going to my first tournament soon with World Leaders versus some General Pointers. What do you run? Are you running Khorne Demonkin? I have my General Pointers. I have general advice for first tournament, and it's no that shit, dude, 100%. It is finish your games. A tournament. My first tournament was like pretty overwhelming and exhausting. Bring water, wear comfortable shoes, and just finish your games, and don't care about doing like well. You doing well is finishing your first RTT. That is that, in my opinion, and I feel like my opinion is correct in this matter, is that you should only really care about getting it done the first time. And then as you start to like, become a better player, get more into the competitive scene, like then you can care more about like how well you're doing. But I also think that there's like certain levels of being good at Warhammer. It's actually like being good at like all things. I don't know if you guys are familiar with being like Idiot Mountain, if you guys have heard that. Like, I don't know if it's an analogy or if it's just like a psychological like thing where like you can think you're like really, really good at something because like you climb to the top of this mountain, but like really there's like all these other mountains that you need to climb, because like once you get this kept happening to me when I was trying to get good at Warhammer, is I'd be like, oh man, I'm good, I'm finally just like beating all these people that were noobs, and then you get up and you're like, wait, I actually like really don't understand this game at all. Like I thought I did, but like there's just like a whole other element of this game that I don't get, and then there's these other players that like I thought I was getting close to being as good as, and I'm like, I'm not even close to their level yet. So then like for a whole nother year I just like kept grinding. And I was like, oh crap. And like now I feel like I'm up in that like mid to good, like as good as like any casual player can be. And then I'm at the top of another peak, and there's still another mountain where there's just like these like top table players that I just can't beat. And it's because I don't either, my brain doesn't work that way, or I don't spend the time to like really do my homework to like try to figure out those matchups and stuff. But I found on my journey of Warhammer is I kept getting to these peaks being like, oh man, I'm getting so good. And then I just kept learning that I still had more to do. So long story short, that's my TED talk about how to improve at Warhammer, is like care less. TLDR, care less. And you'll get better over time if you really want to. And you still probably won't beat these top table guys, because they're just built different than us. Unless you're one of those guys, in which case, welcome. Any advice for painting in such small detail? My advice is go slow. I also airbrush a lot of my stuff. I also am just like I'm not an expert painter. I could probably give you better tactical advice than I could painting advice, to be honest. My advice from me for my level of painting is that I would just use the appropriate size brush. Now go slow. If I was telling myself what to do, I'd be like, I don't know if we need to paint that. We can just move on. We can, like we were saying earlier, we can just null that shit. Is there like an ultimate Warhammer tournament like Nationals? There are a bunch. The one that I think is considered to be like, there's the World Championships of Warhammer that you have to be like invited to by winning a big major. Like that's a pretty big one. I would say that's like the most prestigious one, the World Championships of Warhammer. But the one that is considered, at least when it used to be in January, the one that used to be considered like the end of the tournament season was LVO, the Las Vegas Open, hosted in Las Vegas. And the like scoring that everybody uses, I think, is a system called ITC, and I think that tournament would typically line up with the end of the ITC season. So then people who were playing in that tournament, if they won it, typically then that would give them enough points to have like the most ITC points. So if you won LVO, you would become like the #1 ranked Warhammer player. If I recall that correctly. I'm not like super versed in all of that like ranking stuff. Can't you just drop a Primarch because I would have a big advantage? No. What will happen is that you'll drop a Primarch into the middle of the table, and then your opponent will shoot it to death before you do anything with it, and then you don't have a Primarch anymore. Like, they're not invincible. Your Primarch typically is like, if you think about it as an analogy for chess, your Primarch is typically your queen, and you're not starting the game pushing your queen up the table. You gotta like play your pawns first. And then you like try to like trade against your opponent so that they're losing units and faster than you're losing units, and you're scoring points and you're denying their points faster than they're gaining points and denying you points. And then at the end of the game, you come in and you kind of like have like a finisher. Like you could bring in like sometimes Angron is like a something you push up early because he comes back to life. But I would typically use my Angron as like a threat to be like, oh, well, this guy can come in at any moment and he moves really fast and he's going to come mess you up at any moment. You better watch out. And then I would just never use him, and then I would just close the game with him. I would just kill everything on the table that could kill Angron, and then once all that stuff was dead, then Angron comes out and he just walks around the table and nobody can do anything about it. You're like, oh, actually, I killed your Angron killing gun 2 turns ago, so this guy's going to walk around the table with fully just no... There's just no recourse for that. I got me all excited. I want to run Angron now. Yeah, if Angron dies early, then you get to gamble. I did that in a game on purpose one time. My friend came over to my house, and I just shot Angron into him turn 1 immediately. Because I was like, well, I have all these... And this was, I think, in index times where you could have berserkers on objectives and reroll your blood rolls and whatnot. So I was like, I had my jackals on objectives. I had my my zerks on objectives. I was like, I'm just going to send it. And then just hopefully by turn 4, he comes back. And I can't remember. I feel like I lost that game. I feel like he didn't come back. I played that game poorly, though, if I remember correctly. I was, like, trying too hard to, like, spread my army out instead of just kind of, like, setting up, like, a triangle formation and, like, sticking my guys together. I think I was trying too hard to, like, reach out into his expansion and like... I think he had a Redeemer, maybe, and I was getting, like, overwatched. It was... I don't know. I feel like that was early-ish in the edition. I kind of was, like... Didn't have my beak wet on World Eaters yet. Still trying to figure them out. But with, what is it? Is it Favorite of Corn? Favorite of Corn you can reroll to get Angron back. You could run a Corn Lord of Skulls. I feel like the Corn Lord of Skulls lets you flip dice, if I recall. I think they maybe nerfed that. I can't remember. I don't not remember. Angron's cool. I want him to get a little bit of love in Data Slate. If they buff Angron and 8-bound, I'm fully going back to like the index build, where I'm just spamming 8-bound and I'm dropping my Forge Fiends, and I'm just gonna run Angron and like maybe a Mauler Fiend. I can't remember if my Forge Fiends are magnetized enough to make a Mauler Fiend out of them. What do you think about having Rabude as your warlord? If you want to. He's cool. He's got good rules right now. He's got a cool rule where the thing about the warlord is that like it doesn't really super matter for game rules. Like I think if you bring Angron though, he's got the supreme commander keyword or whatever, and if you have the supreme commander keyword, he has to be your warlord. And someone can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But I'm almost certain that he must, if you bring him, he must be your warlord. But he's cool. I think if you're running Ultras, bringing him and or Marnius Calgar, you kind of can't go wrong. They're both super good. I think there's a rule now to where you can't get the CP off Marnius and Gilliman, if I recall. I can't recall. I used to play Ultramarines for a hot minute in 10th edition, and I do not recall any of their rules. I switched to Blood Angels pretty quick after that, and sold my friend all my Ultramarines. But I was running like Uriel Ventress. That guy was cool. Like deep striking, 6 Eradicators led by an Apothecary Biologist with Fire Discipline. So they would drop in and they would shoot with sustained and lethal 5s or something in the Assault Doctrine with rerolling into the Oath target. Oh, dude, that unit popped off. That thing was crazy. That was enjoyable to do. Oh, you want to see my run? I'll get up. We talked about that like an hour ago. I'll go get him. 2 seconds. It's literally right behind me. Dun 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 dun. Foot is stuck on this cable. Zoink. Booyah. Dude, this guy rules. He's so cool. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. Angron. Yeah, this dude's crazy. Awesome. Yo, you guys got me all excited. I want to play it with him again. He's so cool. How long did that take me to paint? I bought Angron when my daughter was born because we were not sleeping a lot. And then when she would wake us up in like the middle of the night, I would like work on him. And I think I built and painted him in weird midnight bursts. It probably took me like a month or something of just like fever, not fever dream because I guess I was awake, but like in just weird spurts of like, I don't know if I'm awake or not. Like, what is happening? I'm very tired. But a lot of it is airbrush, and then you can cheat a lot. And then like this bronze, I think the bronze is airbrush. Oh, he's dusty. I gotta spray him off. The wings are airbrushed, and then I just I cheated with this the alkaline green stuff on the shoulder pads. I don't know. I think he's okay. He's good. Again, what we were saying earlier, like you're your own worst critic. I like him. He is above tabletop standard, I would say. Oops, I'm just painting off screen right now. Sorry. Yeah, I think airbrush is huge. I mean, I use airbrushes all the time. Like these guys, I prime them with like Chaos Black primer, and then I make like a purple gray mix to do the base coats on these guys, and then I go above them with like Timia white and some spirit mixer, like thinner, to just kind of do this white effect. which my friend was teaching me how to do. Okay, we're almost done with black here. Let's see, did we finish this one? Black, 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 black. Black. Ooh, we could probably get his armpits before we say we're done with this guy. But my opinion on airbrush is that if you think you want one, just get one and start practicing with it. Because it takes a minute to learn how to use. And it's worth the eventual time save investment to learn how to use it. But at first, it is going to clog. You're going to screw it up. You're going to be cleaning your airbrush more than you're painting with it. And it's going to be frustrating and infuriating. Like, I've taken my airbrush apart. I've lost pieces to, I bent pieces to it and had to, like, I was sitting, this was a couple years ago, I was like sitting with a friend of mine and I'm like, I don't understand why my airbrush isn't working. Like, this should work. Like, look here's the schematic. And we like took it apart and rebuilt it. And I was like, this should just be working. Why doesn't it work? And then we were looking at the schematic and then we saw that the one piece was like bent slightly differently. And because of that, it just like it wouldn't like work properly, which was just insane. But all that to say is, if you want to learn how to airbrush, just start learning, because it's a process. It takes a long time. And if you're like afraid to do it, just kind of like bite the bullet and just do it. It does kind of take up a lot of space. If you have like a smaller living situation, it's kind of annoying. But when we had a smaller place, we had one of those filters that you could like put the hose out the window so that I could just do it in my office. But in our place now, I just have like a table outside and I have it all set up out there. I just go outside with a mask on and I just blast my airbrush for like a few hours at a time and then clean it up. It's a little bit nicer to do it that way. But I think if you think you're going to want to airbrush at some point in your life, to just get like a cheap-ish airbrush for like $100 or less, get like a $50 air compressor, and get a good mask so that you don't die from inhaling paint fumes, and just send it. Because it takes a second to learn. But again, I am not a painting expert. I'm just sharing my journey and what I've learned. And you take with that what you will. If you find it helpful, use it. If you don't find it helpful, forget about it. I am not offended. Offended, I am not. Thinking after we finish, I could take a poll maybe. After I finish these Inceptors, I don't know if I want to do. I just got a Horse Heresy tank, the Predator support tank that I'm using as a ball Predator because it has the exact same weapon loadout. And it's like a beautiful tank that like just came out this year. And a ball Predator came out in like 1992. Should your bloodletters or jackals? Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna say bloodletters, because bloodletters I think will paint up faster, and the success of you painting up your bloodletters and getting them done is gonna like give you the like motivation and dopamine to then do your jackals after. Because jackals are like a newer sculpt, and they're gonna be they're gonna take you longer to paint. And I think to get the like the hobby dopamine of like completing a task, you should prioritize the bloodletters first because they're way easier. Boom. You're welcome. That's what I would do. My jackals are in a weird state where they are. I like slap chopped them and then just painted their skin so that their skin is painted, but then their all of their weapons and their clothing is still like black and white, and it almost looks like Borderlandsy. Like it almost looks like it's out of a comic book, or not, maybe not Borderlands, like Sin City. It looks like Sin City, where like this part of it's black and white and part of it's in color. And I just never painted them. I was like, I don't know, this kind of looks cool. I might just not ever paint these guys. And I still haven't to this day. And I bought that kit. When did that come out? End of 9th edition? So like 3 years ago? And they've been sitting in that state ever since. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Borderlands. I've not got that new game yet. I also don't think I ever got 3. I played 2 like a ton. But at this point, Borderlands 2 came out like a million years ago. It's like an Xbox 360 game, I think. Maybe. Cue the Matt Damon meme where he ages like 50 years in 10 seconds. I think 4 just dropped. I think they've done a lot of like weird iterations. Ah, whoops. I accidentally hid that message, dude. I'm so sorry. You can resend it. I think it had the word psycho in it, and then YouTube tried to ban it. And then I tried to hit no, and I accidentally hit yes. So you can just resend that message, but I'm sorry. It's a lot going on. Watch YouTube just like fully ban you for that. That'd be insane. Oh man, we're so close to being done with this black step. Been on it for like the whole stream, which is fine. It is the journey, not the destination. Want to try to find psycho heads? Oh, dude, that'd be cool. I wonder if you could find that stuff like on like Etsy or even just like random STLs to get somebody you know to print for you. I almost did like a super custom. This is gonna sound so nerdy, but it's awesome. I was collecting Leagues of Votan for a second, and I really like Metroid. I'm like a huge Metroid fan. I've been a Metroid fan since Super. And there's an alien in Super Metroid called the Edakun. They're one of the aliens that you save, and they also teach you how to wall jump in the game. So I had started reaching out to some friends of mine who do some 3D modeling, and I was like in process of getting custom Edakun heads made for my Votan army before I kind of was like, this is a giant project that I'm not sure I'm ever going to do, and I bailed on it. And since then, I've sold my Votan. I don't have them anymore. But I've also gotten very excited about like, oh, bro, what if we did this and it was custom and it was amazing and and then I just lost steam and didn't do it. Not to say that you shouldn't try that though. So on my homepage, nice. We love hitting up hitting on the homepages and being in the feeds. We love that. I am painting my Primaris as Loyalist World Eaters. So you can see the transfer for World Eater right there. So the World Eater scheme is like white and blue pauldrons, blue shoulders. And I collect and play the Chaos faction also. Boom, here's Angron, hello. Rah! So I was a World Eater collector first, but I've always wanted to get into Space Marines. So when I finally got into Space Marines, I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if like I painted my Land Raider to be white and blue, like Heresy themed. And then if I really wanted to, I could run this Land Raider in my Chaos army and in my Loyalist army, and I would just save myself $90. That's like kind of how the idea started, but now I've been doing this scheme for a while now, and I just like it now. But that's originally why I did it. How do I like the new Metroid? Is there a newer one than Dread? Dread came out a couple years ago at this point. It is still new. I mean, if you think about how often they release those games. Dread was awesome. I feel like people were like kind of like crapping on that game. That dude, I don't know if you guys ever saw that clip circulating where like the dude who is like the old God of War creator was like crapping on it, and I was just kind of like, yeah, well, 4 is coming out, dude. It's got to come out. It's gonna come out before Black Friday. Mega. I would bet you real human dollars that comes out before Black Friday. And also, we've got the Direct coming up on Friday. Yes, I still listen to Nintendo news. The Direct is coming on Friday, and we're gonna see allegedly maybe a holiday blockbuster. No? Yes? What do you think, dude? Not to derail the conversation from Warhammer. I'm just really curious. I loved Dread. I thought it was very good. Oh, nice. Dude, Adeptus Mechanicus are cool. I have, like, looked at them a couple of times. I think that they play slightly, like, too technical for me on the table. And I'm a little bit of, like, how does this army play? Before I'm like, is this the coolest army I've ever seen? Because I've collected armies before, and I just really love playing the game. I've collected armies before, and then I start playing them, and I'm like, this is not how I like to play the game at all. And kind of noped out on them after the fact. I love to hate my iMac. Nice. Lore models are awesome. Playing them is horrible experience. Yeah, I feel like it's challenging. I've seen people run... My dog is just like standing up all scared of shadows currently. Sorry, that distracted me. Those like little spider things are cool. A larger Ben, a second Ben has hit the chat. That's a timely joke. All right, we're gonna switch off black, I think, finally. There's 2 of them. They fly now? They fly now. I don't think I missed anything. If I missed something, let me know. Oh, you're saying hopefully not a Switch 2 exclusive? Are you saying for Metroid Prime 4? I don't think it is. I'm like almost certain that it's not. Because it was announced... It was announced like 9 years ago or something insane. But I'm almost certain that that is not a Switch 2 exclusive. It's just going to run better on Switch 2. I don't think that that's going to be their big holiday seller. Because Metroid does not sell for them. Like, ever. Are they just hoping that the holiday seller is just going to still be like Mario Kart or Donkey Kong Bonanza? I can't imagine that that's the plan, but maybe it is. Because maybe the system seller is the system itself. Maybe. I don't know. It seems to be selling really well. Do you know how long it actually has been, though, Mega? How many... How many years? Fire Emblem would be dope. I need to finish... I started Engage, and I liked it more than Three Houses. I know that's like sacrilegious to say to some people, but I thought Three Houses was overrated. I was like, I didn't want to pretend to be in a school. I wanted to play a tactical game with battles. It's like, I'm not trying to play Persona right now. I'm trying to play Fire Emblem. I'm like the one guy that didn't like that. Oh yeah, I saw something about that, about the Genealogy remake. I did see something about that. There's been like a couple leaks about that. Allegedly. And that would be the one that comes next, right? I think I bought the last one. I need to get a new 3DS. I don't have a system to play my games on. I wonder what happened to my other one. LOL. My eyes are making me Kit Bash Raptors chapter army. Ooh. Yeah, 3DS, I think is going to go down as like one of the most underrated consoles of all time. I mean, it did sell a lot, though, right? I feel like it was popular in Japan, maybe, more so than here. I do think that there are some absolute capital B bangers on the 3DS. Like A Link Between Worlds and Fire Emblem Awakening. I'm trying to think of other stuff that's like exclusive to that console. That was just like probably one of the greatest games of that generation that just is on that portable that no one played. Pokemon X and Y is the best generation? Oof. I don't know about that. Ooh, Oras. Yeah, Oras was really, 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 really good. Oras is insane. That game is so good. I think I own both of those. I can't remember. Maybe I just own... Omega Ruby. It took me too long to get to. My brain stopped working. Cavill is a Custodes player. I don't see him engaging in the online community, though. Which I guess makes sense. He's like an A-list actor. I would have thought by now that he would have, like, reached out to some of these like smaller channels that do battle reports and like gone and played there. But I'm wondering if he doesn't really play or if he's just kind of a painter and like reads the books and stuff and like plays like more casually. Because the game, I feel like in the last, at least since I've been playing, has gotten a little bit more like gamified and like esporty is like the wrong word. But, like, I feel like a lot of the battle reports and stuff you watch are, like, match play, competitive-ish style. And I wonder if he was more like, ooh, I'm just going to blow up this guy next to this tank. Wahoo. 'Cause there's a lot of players who play like that, which is definitely not a wrong way to play, but it's not the content that shows up in my feed. Bricky doing that? Yeah, that's cool. I gotta follow that guy more. He showed up in my feed a little bit. I didn't. Seems like he's like into video games and stuff too. It's just cool. It's a good like crossover for things I'd be interested in. I should check him out more. I should check him out. I think this is the last. We've switched to Runelord Brass. I don't know if I said that out loud or just in my head. I think this is the last like part of the base coat that we're gonna do, and then I'm probably gonna bust out some shades and like wash down this bronze. Oh no! Uh-oh. I just nicked that little fin with this bronze. Crap! Let's see if we can save it. Ugh, not really, but it's in a good spot to where when I edge highlight with the white, it'll probably just cover it. This paint water is gnarly. I need to swap it out. It is like mud. I must hydrate. Oh, I missed that comment, Marcus. 3DS Monster Hunter? Yeah, 3DS Monster Hunter was dope. I had a ton of those. Like they kept coming out with like what are they called? Ultimate? Or Ultimate, like the better versions? What was I playing? Like 4 Ultimate or something? I feel like I played a lot. And then on Switch, I really liked Rise. And I feel like I bought them all. What was the new one that just came out? I feel like I got that one too on my PC. Wilds? I don't know. What's the last one I played like so much? I feel like World I played like an obscene amount. But I think maybe 4 Ultimate, maybe I played the most. Or at least that was the most, like, formative to me, like, memory-wise for Monster Hunter. But yeah, I'm a fan of those games. The feedback loop is really good. I feel like the story on Wilds, and this is just me being impatient, I feel like the story on Wilds just would not end. It was just like you do one thing, and I'm like, oh, is that the end of the game? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, we're going to listen to this like kid talk for a while? Okay. But I feel like I came up on Monster Hunter where there just kind of is like a quest board, and then you do the quest, and then the quest is over, and then you do another quest, and then you do another quest. And that's like what I'm used to in my Monster Hunter games. And it's like when I'm doing the story on Wilds, I was just kind of like, okay, who can I hunt now to like make cool armor? I get it. This was like your village or something and you're sad? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of like sometimes if a story in game is like not The Last of Us, just don't do it. I'm not interested in like this like shoehorned in story that is not good just so we can like pretend that there's a story mode. Just give me a quest board, and if you're not going to make it The Last of Us, I'm not interested. What's another game that has like a super sick story? I feel like there are like a handful of games that are like in The Last of Us echelon of like this was just amazing storytelling. And I'm coming up blank on them. Alma's a really good handler. Which one is Alma? Is Alma the one with the glasses? There's for sure some good 3D modeling in that game. The assets in that game are sweet. Very cool monsters. With huge assets. Oh yeah, oh yeah, we are getting there. Friendos, check this out. This looks good. World ate up so much of your life on PS4, dude. Same. I think I had that one on PS4. I have too many consoles. Oh yeah, 4 Ultimate and 3DS. Yeah, I'm telling you. I think that one was goated. I think Generations or something was on 3DS too. That what people were super into, and then I think they ported it to Switch. Question mark. I definitely be knowing stuff about video games. Okay. Oh, whoopsie. I'm like handling this mini too much. Like rubbing some of the paint off. Uh-oh. Careful. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is quickly switch back to Cantor Blue. Ooh, maybe I'm gonna stay on black for a second and clean up some of these. I definitely was rubbing paint off of these. Oh no! This is the biggest oopsie yet. I just splashed his foot with black. Oh no. Oh, that's good. We're good. Oh, Warframe? I tried that game. I liked that it was free. But it did not hold me and never let go, which other games have done. And then Helldivers 2, I still have not gotten. On stuff like that, if my brothers pick it up, it's pretty easy to get in on it because I know I have people to play with. And if they don't, I just kind of am like, ugh. Gotta like reach out to my gamer friends and like see if we're actually gonna play this, and like, are we gonna play it? Are we getting on the game? Are we not getting on the game? It's like I can only play on this day. All right, let's just pick at this a little bit more. Yeah, maybe we switch to the wash. I think we're ready to shade. Let's switch to the shade. Where is it? Not Agrax. Dark Oath Flesh, maybe? Whoa, nice. Yeah, I guess I could try to do like randoms. Maybe the next time Helldivers is like mad cheap, I'll pick it up. I feel like it goes on sale on Steam every once in a while. Alright, so now we are moving over to Dark Oath Flesh. And this is a contrast paint, but I'm gonna... Ooh, is this the one I want to use? I think this is not the one I want to use. Let's ditch this one. I want this one. I want Reckland Flesh Shade. This one is a shade. So this will bring my bronze down and make it read slightly more red than yellow, which is what I want. So we're gonna put this in the wet palette. And we're gonna water it down a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Okay, let's see. I don't know. This is already pretty translucent. I don't know how much I need to water this down. I think we'll just put it in the palette and let it absorb a little bit of water and then just send it. I'm getting stressed about touching this mini. I don't know what to do. I think we're going to... Oh, also, if that tapping is like loud and annoying, let me know. When I'm watching streams and people do stuff like that, it drives me crazy. I'm like, bro, your mic's on your desk. Quit hitting your desk, you psycho. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put these on the bases. There we go. And then we should be able... Oops. Should be able to shade these guys up without doing any further paint rubbage. 200 million player dozen a week? Whoa. Do I still have some lore about why my world leaders are still loyalists? Yes. It's not super well thought out. It's just that at some point during 30K, there was something that opened the warp or something, and my guys got lost in it. And then through some like battle of redemption out of the warp, they escaped the warp, allegedly unscathed and untouched by chaos. And then they found like a derelict Space Hulk with a Primaris Rubicon in it, and they all went through the Rubicon to become Primaris-sized. And there's also a battle where... Who is it? I feel like there is like a battle where Sanguinius fought World Eaters. And also somewhere in my headcanon is that during that battle, there was like some type of like alliance made between like a single World Eater with like a single Blood Angel. And that is why when I play my guys on the tabletop, they have access to all the Blood Angel characters. But again, this is not real lore. This is just stuff I've made up to play with my pretend toys because I think it's fun. But I've never like written anything down or like have like super like hardened. It's just, I don't know. I think this paint scheme looks cool, and World Eaters are my favorite subchapter. So that's what we're doing. Oh yeah, here we go. Shading it down. Yeah. So I'm gonna apply this, and then I'm probably gonna clean my brush off, and I'm gonna pull some of it back off. Yeah, I think that's fun, headcanon. I've thought about it a little bit. Not like a ton. Yeah, I think that's good. I didn't really need to wipe too much of it off. Looks good. And then I'll probably, after I do this, bring it back up with the Rune Lord Brass again as a highlight. But this will give it some little bit of value. A little bit of like dimension. Yeah. Just get this in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We are painting Inceptors, everybody. This is coming along. Man, I'm trying to keep this in frame when I've got the giant STL thing on is crazy. It's hard to do, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, Big Ben, this is cool. It's this is Deadly Print Studio, I think. They have good stuff that looks cool. And their prices are reasonable. I have these for my Inceptors, and there's a really cool one for Virtus Praetors for Custodes that I have on like all 18 of my Virtus Praetors, and those guys look amazing. I'm just not a fan of like I mean, it's not an original take. I'm just not a fan of the flippin' plastic cleared sticks. I think it looks bad. I think they break, they fall off. It's just not, I'm not about that life. Oh yeah, for JPI would be cool. The JPI, the new JPI are sick because they just stand on rocks now. Here's a JPI that I'm like half modifying to like a captain. But they all stand on these little rocks now, which is dope. But it might be cool for like an old JPI. Suppressors would be cool too, for sure. Or maybe for the new JPI, what do I know? Do something cool. I just, for a function reason, wouldn't do that for my JPI because I feel like they already do what I want, which is stand still and don't fall over or break. And fit under 3-inch walls without any issue. Ooh, Phobos with jump pack. That'd be cool. We got like, what do we got? Reavers now? Is that like the main one? And then whatever the leader is that leads Reavers. Is that a different guy? Is there a lieutenant in Reaver armor? Is that a thing? Seems like it might be a thing. Whoa. Oh, and Shrike. Yeah, Shrike is cool as hell. I love me some Shrike. Love him. You don't understand. I love him. Let's not shade the blue yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I do white, I just do it with an airbrush. I just find it very challenging and time consuming to build up white. Oh my gosh. Look at this. This is turning out great. I feel like that's in frame, right? Is that in focus? My hand is in focus. There we go. Look at that, guys. Boom. This looks legit. Still got like a ways to go, but you could put this on any table and ain't nobody gonna tell you that this model's not done. This thing looks pretty good. If you think my painting sucks, or if you like it, or if you're just having a good night, make sure to hit that like button, guys. I don't ask for that much, but why not? Let's see if we can make that number go up. Numbers give me dopamine. Nice. Ooh, I threw this transfer on this afternoon. It's like a little corn transfer. I think it dropped us out. Ooh, don't tempt me with a good time. Thank you, Big Ben. Looking to do painting streams once or twice a week. And then I've also got a super secret thing in the pipeline that I will not reveal at this time. But if you keep coming back, I might tell you soon. But there might be a super secret project happening that I am not allowed to talk about yet. Do. No. But I can say that it's Warhammer related. And that's all I'll say. You're starting to... Oh my god. Bro, did I show up in your recommended? What's up, Renee? Nice, let's go. Let us go. We like that. I'm not starting Deathwatch. What are you playing these days? I feel like you jump around a lot. You're like me. I feel like you're very like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. What are you playing these days? I'm still on Blood Angels, man. I love them. They're awesome. They are so cool. I'm like having a hard time switching off of them, to be honest. I went back to World Eaters when the Codex dropped. I feel like after I got that stuff off of you, the World Eaters Codex dropped after that, maybe? I can't remember. Sigmar, let's go. What are you doing in Sigmar? What you painting up? I played KO for a hot minute. I don't really have that much Sigmar stuff, though, other than my Khorne Demons for 40k. But yeah, I think I hopped back onto World Eaters because I think the Codex dropped after I got the Blood Angels. And then I was doing pretty good with them. But I'm not in love with the builds currently that you can do for competitive. And also I'm like not in love with just the model of the Forge Fiend. And I kind of just like, I don't like this model, even though it's like probably one of the best rules-wise things you can bring. I would much rather have Inceptors or a Vindicator or, you know, I feel like I can do very similar things in Blood Angels with cooler models. And that's sort of where I landed. I was like, well, we can fight and shoot in Blood Angels, so let's just do that. Yeah, my current list has 2. I was running just 1 for a second. I was running like double Ball Predator and 1. Ooh, I can pull up my list. There's plenty of people watching. We can do this real fast. Let's see. My current list is this. We've got triple captain. I dropped Dante just because I was trying to squeeze more shit into this list. I have triple captain, 1 with a blazing icon, which is ignore Overwatch. I've got Mephiston for lone op fights first and 4 up feeling the pain. I've got the Sanguinary. I've been kind of 50-50 starting him on the table because of the up-down and Angelic Inheritors, because you can have him on the table, heroically intervene, fights first, and then leave, which is just annoying. And then they charge you again, and he comes back down, and he does his rule, which is like just crazy. Then I've just got Intercessors for sticky and just shooting elves. And then I've got 1 ball, 1 Eradicator, 6 Inceptors, which we're painting now, 6 Incursors, which are on deck to be painted at some point. And then Infiltrators for protecting my backline, and then 3 Sangard to go with the 3 captains. 1 squad of Scouts, because I don't like to leave home without Scouts, because they're just good utility. And then I've got double Vindicator, because boom, boom, pow, Vindicator gonna vindicate. I think that's a decent list. I don't know if it's like the most crazy meta list ever, but I think it's a good list, and I like it. It's been performing pretty well. In my matches, I've only lost, since I switched back to Angelic Inheritors, in chapter approved, I think I've played 9 games and I've lost 1, which is pretty good. Pretty good. But I'm going into Tau next week, and I'm not feeling uber confident about it, into Experimental Cadre. But we'll see. It'll be a fun game. Yeah. I'm using it in my league, yeah. That list I just showed you is the one I've got locked for round 5. I don't know how I feel about the incursors. I feel like they're okay. I don't know. With the double Vindy and the Inceptors, it's probably worth it to get +1 to hit, and then also just have something that's like scouting and hanging out on my expansion and kind of just vibing. It's probably good. But I was a little bit thinking that Outriders might be better for like expansion, like disruption, and being, what are they? Are they T5? T5 4 wounds. On the charge, I think they get +1 damage now. It just seems like a slightly more durable unit that you could do stuff with. And they're faster, which I'm a sucker for speed. So I don't know. It's sort of like a flavor choice to just bring more Phobos, I guess, because I already have some in the list. Maybe. Are Reavers usable at all? Yeah, totally. They got a glow up. I feel like they got cheaper, question mark. And then also, if you're within... Someone can correct me. If you're in engagement range, for sure, they reduce OC by 1. But I also think if you're within 3 inches, they also reduce OC by 1. Which I think is underrated. And then I think they gave them better combat knives, which makes them, I think, slightly better in, at least if you're talking Blood Angels, which I always am, in Liberator Assault Group, because then you get, like, I think it's a bunch of AP 1, Damage 1 knives, but they become Strength 6 or something, which is not nothing. Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like a good, like, well-rounded thing. I support those choices. I really like Phobos. I think that from, like, a model perspective, I really like it. You can see my last post on Instagram is my infiltrators, if you guys want to check them out. But we'll soon be posting these Inceptors, and we'll be very happy about that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for Raptors with the Raven Guard successor stuff. Yeah, that'll be dope, dude. That sounds cool as hell. That sounds cool as hell. Oh yeah, this is clean. Are we in frame? Yeah, we're in frame. This is looking really clean, guys. This is looking dope. I'm gonna have to do these the smoke trails offline, just because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna airbrush them. All right, this looks nice. Let us shade this last guy. Dang, dude, this looks wild. This looks so good. I'm just excited. And then I think I'm also gonna maybe airbrush some like plasma effect on this too. Just like some little bit of white just going tss, and then a little bit of like contrast blue going tss, and then we're done. But just a little bit of glow. But I want to do it not super crazy because I've magnetized these, and we don't want to have any of the plasma. Oops, I don't want to have any of the plasma glow like on the guy itself, because if I swap these out for bolters and we have blue glow with the bolters with no blue glow, that's not gonna make any sense. You can't do that. That'd be crazy. But yeah, probably do that. And then I think what we're going to use instead of like Nuln, we'll use Nuln for like a little bit of the recesses, but I think what we're going to do instead is use this to be a panel liner to just kind of darken up some of the little like line crevices. Like see on his chest where he's got like the three lines underneath it. It might be hard to see on camera, but there's like teeny tiny lines there that we could easily get with this panel liner And that'll be cheap, fast, and easy to kind of give a little bit more depth to this model without just ruining the white paint and just bringing it like way too far down. I do want these guys to read like super clean, which is like why it takes so long for me to paint this army, because I would just want it to look like as if they weren't in a battle killing like aliens and getting blood splattered all over them. It's like, no, clean white armor. They kill people and no blood comes out. They're fine. Don't worry. They've never stepped in mud. My other minis, I kind of wish I still had them on the table, but I do a little bit of mud stuff around their feet on the guys that aren't flying through the air, because it helps kind of ground the model onto the base, which I like a lot. Raptors and Scepters with bolters. Yeah, there's like good arguments for both. I feel like some detachments kind of want the bolters more than others. Like bolters, I feel like are less. You want to use them less in what I'm doing, only because I have access to sustained hits for a CP, where the bolters already have sustained hits built into their profile, or sustained hits 2 or something. But if you can hit something with some like chaff, I don't know, what are they, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1? I forget what the bolters are. But if you could hit something with incursors that are oathed and then shoot the bolters into that while you're fishing for 6s, like, hoo. Double exploding 6s, yummy. That's some cow yawn goodness right there. We love that. Boom, boom, pop. Ooh. I have to come back and touch that up. Puddled up slightly too much there. Whoopsie. Alright. Yeah, what appeals to you about the Raven Guard? I like them with their like kind of like beaky helmets and stuff, and like the Phobos and jetpack stuff. Like that new combat patrol looks crazy good. I really want it. I want it. I need it. I also need another captain with jump pack, and it comes in that kit or in that box. So it'd be just like a great way to grab like another 5 JPI. Some more like incursor bodies or infiltrator bodies. I feel like I already have 10 incursors. I don't know if I need more. At least not yet. I got like a sick deal on eBay getting those incursors. They were so cheap. They were in kind of like not great condition, but I like soaked them in green stuff and then just put them in my paint scheme and they look fine. Ish. The one thing that annoys me about buying secondhand minis is that I'm really like particular about like cleaning the sprue connector thing off. And on some of my secondhand minis, like I didn't notice that they weren't as particular, and I already had like reprimed them. And then all of a sudden I see like this little like dangly bit, and I'm like, ugh, I can't believe you've done this. I can. Definitely people be having different levels of care about how clean things are, or how some people just want to paint their stuff and not be too particular, which I get. That ain't me. Oh, here, it's on here. You probably can't see on camera, but there's a little bit. I think I got these secondhand. I cannot remember for the life of me. I must have. I'll check my eBay history. I know one set I won at an event. And then another set I maybe got on eBay. That sounds right. I do kind of want one more. I would like to just like have one that is just bolters. Because I could actually see an argument for running that in my current list right now. Just having some like Gravis bodies that come in to just move. That I ultimately went with the Ball Predator for that, to just kind of like come in and like get chaff out of the way. Like, get out of here. All right, we're looking good. We're gonna let that shade dry before we bring it back up. I see just a couple of spots I want to hit with this blue, so I'm gonna do that really fast. But we're getting there, gang. We are on our way. Nice. Cleaning this blue off here. All right, I think I'm ready to switch over to the panel line accent color black. All right, let's go here. And this should... Nice. Let's just go on pretty easy. I'm just gonna take it slow. This stuff also kind of stinks. I don't know if I should be wearing a mask with this. Let me know if you guys know if I shouldn't be breathing this. Nice. Let's see if I can just get in there. Blacken that up a little. Yeah, okay, okay. Okay. Oh no, maybe I already got that one. Okay. So what I'm doing with this panel liner is I'm just sort of like touching the indentation on the lines, and I'm letting it just like flow. I'm not like really painting with this thing. I'm just sort of like touching it. Boop. Letting it flow. Boop. Letting it flow. Just boop. I'm just booping it. You know what I mean? Boop. Boop. We want to do some boops over here. Boop. 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 Yeah, I'm not huffing this over here. We're just But some of the stuff that we work with can be stinky and not like necessarily harmful. But yeah, I'm not taking big huge deep breaths right now. Oh, nice. Okay. Definitely want to get these like little jetpack area here. Drag it back. Drag it this way. There we go. Let me hit the focus thing again. I think we lost it. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Ooh, we like this. Should I tap this? Yes, okay. I was a little scared it was gonna just not go. Tap, tap, tap. I forgot to get Q-tips for this section. Can we just do paper towel, probably? Yeah, okay. That works. All right, let's tap this. Tap, 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 And tap, tap, tap. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, we are getting there. Still like lots of work to do. Not lots of work, but work to do on the smoke trails. But I think it's just like a little bit of highlighting back up to the bronze, and then just like some scratch marks with the light blue on the blue armor, and I'm pretty happy with where this is at. Nice. Tap, 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 tap. Let's get a little bit more. Tap, tap. Oh, bro. I spilled Tamiya Extra Thin in my office like 2 years ago, and I just was like scream, cry, gagging, running out of the room. It was a nightmare. It was awful. I felt like I was like being like like bombed by some type of like chemical warfare. It was horrible. I would not wish that on anyone. You have to be so careful with this stuff. If it's toxic in any way, you gotta read the labels. You gotta treat that stuff accordingly. You gotta be so careful. But I was acting like that was just some Nuln Oil and knocking it over like it was no big deal. And I knocked that over and just straight up almost, I mean, don't need to exaggerate, I didn't die, but like it was awful. Just tears streaming down my face, like scream gagging. It was gnarly. Be safe, read the labels, kids. Yada yada yada. I'm not an example. Oh, for sure some brain cells were lost in that incident, but, you know, I didn't have that many to begin with, so I didn't really miss them. Tappy tap, tappy tap, tappy tap, tappy tap, tappy tap, tappy tap. Ooh, we're tappy tapping. This is looking good. We like it. Tap, 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 tap. Ooh. We like to tap it. Like I kind of want to get in on these little like rubber things, and it's just there's nowhere to put a brush. think I'm just gonna like not care. Pro tier. I was joking with my friend the other day about running the program stopcaring.exe. I was just kind of like, oh man, like how do you deal with that? And I was like, oh well, I just run my program. It's called stopcaring.exe, and I just don't care. And then I get by. Have you tried not giving a shit? It's freeing. Okay, let's be done with the panel liner. That's like a good enough start on that. And maybe, I think maybe we just do a little bit of weathering on the blue. Let's get these guys in frame. Just do a little bit of weathering on like the blue panels. And that might be good. What are we at? We're at 2.5 hours. Yeah, let's do some weathering on. Where's the lighter blue I was using? Calgar. So I've got Calgar. We're using Cantor for this blue, and then I kind of like work up like a little mixture of Cantor and Calgar to like bring up the highlights on this blue a little bit, and then I go pretty much straight Calgar to do like a couple like light blue scratches on the armor, which is I think a decent effect. But I don't like to spend a ton of time highlighting. Ooh, or nah, let's just do that. Let's not have ADD. I think that's what we do. I was gonna say maybe we could like do some Nuln Oil, like some more shading, and then go to highlight step. But I think since I already said I was gonna do this, I'm just gonna commit to it. We're gonna commit to the bit. We're gonna commit to the bit. And get a little bit of Calgar. Oof, this Calgar is dying. This is... We are dying. Oh, there's some good paint down here. Oh yeah. Let's rinse this. Maybe start in the middle-ish region. Yeah. It's not, I don't really get how I would edge highlight these like spherical. I feel like I'm just gonna do like a little bit of like line work. Just kind of go like. Oh yeah, this is something. We're trying something here. Still in frame here? I think so, yeah. We're just doing like a bunch of like little lines here. Just kind of getting a little bit of highlight here on this like spherical. Looking so good, thanks. They look immaculate. Oh, thank you. We're working here. I don't know. Not the best painter, but I'm trying. Just a little bit up here. I like it because the actual thing that I like to do for like art is I like drawing and sketching. So I like to kind of have like a little, like, in addition to making these things look super clean, to be able to kind of like sketch on these guys is enjoyable to me. All right, that was a little bit heavy-handed, so I think I'm gonna go, it's like fine, but I'm gonna go a little darker to see if I can get that to blend with the previously established color just a little bit better. Let's see if I can tighten up the focus here for y'all. I might need to move the other guys out of frame. I think they're pulling the focus away. Get out of frame! There you go, that's close enough. Yeah, let's see if we can bring this back down a little bit. I'm confident that we can get a little bit better blending action. And the one thing I always remember when I'm painting, again, not that I'm a pro painter and that you should listen to any of my advice, is that whenever I feel like I'm making a mistake, I always try to remember that paint is an additive process. So if you go up too high, just, you know, mix a little bit darker and go back down. Like, you're building up to something. So if you make a small mistake, you can always just kind of go in and kind of blend it back down, or also, like, it's just supposed to be fun. So, like, don't, unless you're trying to win a golden demon, again, just when in doubt, stop caring. See if I can scuff up this decal a little bit here. That'll maybe take a little bit extra time to weather. We'll come back to that later. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think these little like scuff marks are the way. I like this. We're on board with this. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. This is legit. Maybe just some over here too. I feel like I maybe need to do like a little bit of like brown and black maybe to make this look more like battle damage and not just like I messed up when I was painting. Or that the decal is like messed up. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, my hope is that I can just, you know, help people chill out and relax and talk about Warhammer. And then if I inspire you to just try to believe in yourself, whether that's playing the game or painting, and just kind of like, oh, I can do that. He can do that. I can do that. That's my goal. Nice. Well, if Phil can do it, obviously anyone can do it, right? If that bozo can do it. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. Let's just do a little bit of this because this is very bright. I don't know. I don't even know if I've heard of what you're talking about. The Mantis Warriors? I'm not sure I know what that is. Ooh, that is nice. Do I do in here? I see, I see, I see. Ugh, it was thick. And not the good kind. Yeah, okay, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Maybe, let's see if I can go a little bit more heavy-handed with this. Famous last words. Let me see if I can go more heavy-handed with this. Let me see if we can't make that battle damage look a little bit just more battle damagey. Yeah, that was the right call. That was the right call. Adding some black in there, that looks really good. Nice. All right. I think, my friends, that this is as far as we got tonight. I'm really happy with the progress we've made. It is pretty cool. These guys are really, really coming along. I'm super happy with it. Before you leave, I would appreciate it if you guys want to see more of this or thought I entertained you in any way. Hit the like button, and if you really want to come back, hit that subscribe button. And if not, that's fine. Thanks for hanging out. Cool. That's it for me, guys. You have a great night. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.